Hi guys, so good evening and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite, your favorite celebrity here in the Philippines. It's 11:26 in the evening right now, and it's September. Wait lang, kalma. It is September 16, 2024, Monday. So I'm going to film again because I don't want to bring my other phone tomorrow. So, yeah, let's start for the continuation of what we are reading a while ago. Okay, so I'll be posting this tomorrow. Okay. So, we are reading page 41 and 42 of the book Mastery. Being different, however, had its painful side. He had no patience for the usual forms of education, although he is very bright and had been admitted to Harvard University. He could not adapt to its strict style of learning. He skipped classes, began to drink, and led a rather bohemian life. The officials at Harvard expelled him twice, the second time for good. After that, he bounced from job to job. He worked at a meth packing plant, and then during World War I, he secured a good position in the Navy. He had an incredible Navy, taray na. So, one of my pangarap ko din yun, guys. Parang nasa Navy or somewhere, pilot, ganun. So, yan. This is like cool job, diba? And, you know, men in uniform, women in uniform. So, yan. He had an incredible feel for machines and how their parts work in concert, but he was restless and could not stay too long in one place. After the war, he had a wife and child to support, and despairing of ever being able to care for them properly, he decided to take a high paying position as a sales manager. He worked hard, did a decent job, but after 3 months, the company folded. He had found the work extremely unsatisfying, but it seemed that such job were all he could expect from life. So, there are actually jobs, guys, like, hindi talaga siya satisfying. So, I hope lahat ng viewers ko, you'll find a job that I hope you'll find not only a job, could be business, the things that you actually enjoy doing. Para it doesn't feel work and I mean, of course, napapagod tayong lahat. For all, it's worth it. Diba? Sana ganun yung mahanap nating lahat. Okay? So, it's not easy. So, keep seeking, guys. Ha? Tsaka huwag kayong susuko agad kasi bakit? Mayaman ka na ba? May generational wealth ka ba? Anak ka ba ng politiko from 5th generation? So, di ba? Kung ordinaryong mamamayan ka lang, yan. Sit still and work on your own. Next. Finally, a few months later, a chance appeared out of nowhere. His father-in-law had invented a way of producing materials for houses that would end up making them more durable and better insulated. And at a much lower cost, but father could not find investors or anyone willing to help him set up a business. Fuller thought his idea brilliant. Parang kulang. He had always been interested in housing and architecture, and so he offered to take charge of implementing these new technology. He put everything he could into the effort and was even able to improve on the materials to be used. Fuller's father-in-law supported his work, and together they formed the stockade building system. Dali. Money from investors, mostly family members, allowed them to open factories. The company struggled. The technology was too new and radical, and Fuller was too much of a purist to compromise his desire to revolutionize the construction industry. After 5 years, the company was sold, and Fuller was fired as president. So, nangyayari talaga to, especially to those people who are ambitious, risky. Usually, they risk kasi, syempre, yung desire nila and yung passion about a certain goal or a certain thing is like too much. Sometimes, ano na siya, hindi na siya realistic. And, hindi siya akma sa environment and sa season. Right? So, sometimes masyadong advanced or sometimes medyo napapag-iwanan, ganon. Okay? So now the situation looked bleaker than ever. The family had been living well in Chicago on his salary beyond its means. In those 5 years, he had not managed to save anything. Winter was approaching and his prospects for work seemed very slim. His reputation was in tatters. One evening, he walked along Lake Michigan and thought of his life up until then. He had disappointed his wife and he had lost money for his father-in-law and his friends who had invested in the enterprise. So, may advice lang ako sa inyo. Wait lang. So, speaking of investors, yan, make sure to like, as much as possible, you do not involve your friends on your business or your family members or your relatives. Okay? Make sure you associate yourself with strangers. People with, the businessmen and the businesswomen as well. You have to associate that with them kasi, when you involve your people that are personal to you, diba? So it kind of, it's not gonna be a professional attack. I mean, it's not gonna be a professional environment kasi may masasabi at masasabi. So, yun yung mga bagay na iniiwasan natin. When it comes to doing business or hitting your goal, ganun. Okay? So, just, mind your own business and build your people. Okay? So, usually kasi maraming nasisira na and it's really hard to patch things up when it comes to your relatives, to your friends, to your close friends, diba? Especially when money is involved. So, huwag na kayo gumaya sa aking mga pinagdaanan. Okay, so sometimes mahirap din mag-advise kasi hindi naman din kayo makikinig, guys. Kasi iba pa rin talaga yung experience, yung na-experience mo. Because you know the next time that you're gonna talk to people or do business with people, iba ng usapan kasi you're coming from your experience and 'di ba mas may alam ka na, mas matalino ka na. Dami kong segue. Go back na tayo. So he was useless at business and a burden to everyone. Ayaw natin nun. Diba? So finally, he decided upon suicide as the best option. Kita mo, dumating pa sa point na ganito. So ayaw natin dumating sa ganung point. So do not get involved your personal people. I mean, people that are close to you. When doing something that you wanted to, to be a success as much as possible. Just, mahirap yung nagkakaroon ng a lot of burden. Kasi if it's not, and men are not capable of handling these kinds of emotions, of turmoil, of hindi yung level of maturity and understanding, hindi sila ganun katatag. And women are built different. You know that, whether you deny it. Diba? So, going back. Okay? Huwag kayo magsusuicide. It's not. Dito nakalagay, it's the best option, but it's not, guys. It's not going to be. Sooner or later, you'll regret it. Nga pala guys, casual talks lang tayo dito. Hindi naman tayo yung sobrang basa-basa lang ng basa. Siyempre, ano to, realistic. Hindi naman to yung parang naririnig nyo sa audiobooks and all. That it has to be a certain way, this way, that way. My channel, it's my way guys. On how to deliver many things to you. On how can you absorb it. Okay? So, pinapadali natin yung mga bagay-bagay kasi we want things to make it easy, fast, and efficient. Okay? But still, dapat na-absorb nyo. And if you don't really understand what I'm saying, baka kasi bata ka pa, or less experience, or iba yung pagkakaintindi mo, and it's okay, it's okay. Nangyayari talaga yung mga ganyan. But when you're matured enough, I'm pretty sure you'll understand what exactly I'm telling you. He would drown himself in the lake. He had a good insurance policy, and his wife's family would take better care of her than he had been able to. As he walked toward the water, he mentally prepared himself to death. Suddenly, something stopped him in his tracks, and what he would describe later as a voice coming from nearby or perhaps from within him. So, may ano na, spiritual involvement na. I don't know. We don't know. Perhaps we don't actually know kasi hindi naman tayo itong taong to. So, it says, okay. It said, from now on, you need never await temporal attestation to your thought. You think the truth. You do not have the right to eliminate yourself. You do not belong to you. You belong to the universe. Your significance will remain forever obscure to you. But you may assume that you are fulfilling your role if you apply yourself to converting your experiences to the highest advantage of others. Never having heard voices before, blah 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 blah. Never having heard voices before, Fuller could only imagine it as something real. Stunned by these words, he turned away from the water and headed home. So, diba? You guys know that you have angels that are looking out for you, doing things for you, and sometimes they interfere with our reality. So, I'm pretty sure it's one of those times. Itong binabasa natin. Okay, Fuller. So, on the way there, he began to ponder the words and reassess his life. Now in a different light, perhaps what he had perceived moments earlier as his mistakes were not mistakes at all. He had tried to fit into a world, business, in which he did not belong. The world was telling him this if he only listened. The Stockhead experience was not all a waste. He had learned some invaluable lessons about human nature. He should not have no regrets. The truth was that he was different. In his mind, he imagined all kinds of inventions, new kinds of cars, houses, buildings, structures that reflected him. Wait lang. Unusual perceptual skills. It struck him as he looked around at row after row of apartment housing on his way back that people suffered more than sameness from the inability to think of doing things differently than from non-conformity. He swore that from the moment on, lubat na tayo. So he swore from that moment on he would listen to nothing except his own experience, his own voice. He would create an alternative way of making things that would open people's eyes to new possibilities. The money would eventually come. Whenever he thought of money first, disaster followed. He would take care of his family, but they would have to live frugally for the moment. Over the years, Fuller kept to this promise. The pursuit of his peculiar ideas led to the design of inexpensive and energy efficient forms of transportation and shelter, the Dymaxion car and Dymaxion house, and to the invention of the geodesic dome, a whole new form of architectural structure, fame, and money soon followed. So, 'di ba, yung success talaga, it's not like a straight line ahead. Maraming zigzag choo-choo bells and you'll experience many of the things. And sa case ni Fuller, dumating siya sa point na he will commit suicide, which is, we don't wanna reach that point. Pero yun yung parang ano niya, groundbreaking point. 'Di ba? So no good can ever come from deviating from the path that you were destined to follow. You will be assailed by varieties of hidden pain. This is so true, guys. Most often, you deviate because of the lure of money and more immediate prospects of prosperity, because this does not comply with something deep within you. Your interest will lag and eventually the money will not come so easily. You will search for other easy sources of money, moving further and further away from your path, not seeing clearly ahead of you, and you will end up in a dead end career. Okay? So even if your material needs are met, you will feel an emptiness inside that you will need to fill with any kind of belief system, drugs, or diversions. There is no compromise here, no way of escaping the dynamic. So we don't want to reach that point that you have to, try other things just to feel something inside of you. Okay? So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all of your presence here, especially guys pag tinatapos niyo yung videos ko. My heart is nagagalak. Gabi na guys, you get some rest, of course. Good night. Yan. Again, medyo late yung bukas ko ipopost to. And it's okay. As long as you're here with me. Just kidding, guys. Sige na, guys. I'll see you again and always be safe. And, yeah. Yan. Mag-ingat lagi sa anywhere you go. And always pray to the heavens or to your, kung sino man dinadasalan mo, baala ka na sa buhay mo. Ha? Malaki ka na. Bye, guys.